What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reaction, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, we're coming back to Mutant Monster. Yes, indeed, Mutant Monster fans, feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi-bobbidi bot, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Glenn, and Glenn wanted to see me react to this song by Mutant Monster called Girls Fight.
Oh yeah! We're gonna fight! And we're gonna win!
Now, have I heard this song before? Full disclosure, yes. Yes, I have. I've actually already done a reaction to this song. It was about a year ago, back in October, according to my notes here. October, 2024. So yeah, it's been about a year. So yes, I've done a reaction to this song before. Now, from what I understand, this is a different video. It is a different live performance. Okay, so I can't react to the song. I've already done a reaction to the song. If you want to know what I thought about the song, go back and watch my reaction to the first version from back in 2024. You'll see what I thought about the song. I will only be reacting to, evaluating, and scoring the live performance, okay? We're going to be looking at stage presence, stage energy, stage interaction, crowd interaction, showmanship, and production. These are the 6 things we're going to be looking for, okay? So please keep that in mind. Let's see, this was posted by Cecil Paul Studios, okay? And the video has 1,200 views. Well, there you go. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. A link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Mutant Monster, Girls Fight, live in the UK. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Oh boy, let's go down the checklist, shall we? Okay, stage presence. Yeah, check. They got that. They don't look like roadies. They look like performers. They're acting like performers, and stage presence is absolutely there. Stage energy. I'm going to give it a check. Every opportunity they've had to get away from the microphones, they do. You know, in particular, the guitar player, she moved a couple steps back, rocked out over here, and then, you know, came back up on the microphone when she had to. I get it. There's not a lot of opportunity, okay? But whenever there is opportunity, they're taking it. And they're creating as much stage energy as they can within reason. It's also a very small stage to boot, so... Okay, so I'll give them the check for stage energy. I'll give them that one. Stage interaction. Nope, none, zilch, nada, big fat goose egg. Sorry. How about crowd interaction? Nope, zero, zilch, nada, big fat goose egg. Not one time where they've interacted with the crowd. Which is a shame because there have been opportunities. There have been opportunities. So that's two big fat zeros right there in a row. Showmanship. Yeah, I'll give them the check for that. It, again, you know, when they're getting the opportunities to break away from the microphones, even if it's just for 4 measures, they do, and they strike a pose, they rock out, you know, whatever the case may be, and then they get back on the mics. Is that showmanship? It is. I will count it. It is getting a check, not the strongest check in the world, but they're doing as much as they feasibly can under the circumstances. So normally I would give this a little bit of a weaker check, but under the circumstances of the song, I'll give it a full check. Production? Nah, there's none. Their banner. Okay, all right, fine. They have a banner back here. It does say Mutant Monster. It does have the graphic. Okay, fine. I'll count that as production. I'll count it as production. It's not the strongest check in the world, but it is getting a slight check. The lighting is absolutely not designed to go with the song. There is just some guy back there that works for the venue who's just operating the lights, and every once in a while changes them up, you know. He's getting paid minimum wage. He really doesn't care, I promise you. Okay, so if I'm being honest, folks, it's not looking good. You're missing the stage interaction, which on its own isn't that big of a deal. If you miss on stage interaction, you can still get a pretty decent score. When you're missing on a crowd interaction, though, that's a big deal. That's a huge deal. That is, in my opinion, that's the most important factor of a live performance. Now, I know people are going to go, well, the crowd's putting their hands in the air. The crowd's pumping their fists. Neither of the girls on stage have asked them to do it. Neither one of the girls on stage led them. Nobody on the stage has done anything to interact with the crowd to get them to do that. That is crowd initiative. The crowd's doing that of their own volition. They're not interacting with the girls, and the girls are not interacting with them at all. So no, that is not crowd interaction. I'm sorry, but it's not. So I hate to say it, folks, but this is not looking good. Let's hope. Let's hope there's at least some crowd interaction. Let's really hope for that. Let's get back into this. Hey! We have some crowd interaction, okay. All right. Did you say what I think you said? That's pretty awesome. Okay. Okay. We dodged we dodged the bullet. Oh boy, did we ever dodge a bullet. All right. Not a lot to talk about. There really isn't. This is going to be a short review. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Mutant Monster with a live performance. That's going to be key here. A live performance of a song called Girls Fight. This was a request from Glenn. Okay, before I get my score, I just need to remind everybody, I've done a reaction to this song before, way back on the channel about a year ago. I've done a reaction to the actual song. I believe it was for the official music video. So I cannot take the song into account here. I can't take the songwriting, the arranging. I can't take that into account. As much as I'd like to, I can't. I never have, and I never will in a situation like this. So I am basing my evaluation and my score completely on the live performance, the visuals, okay? Please keep that in mind. Now, having said that, I'm not gonna lie, folks, I was getting nervous. I was, but at the end of the day, they pulled it out, and on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give that live performance, the visuals, I'm gonna give it a 6.7. Yep, 6.7. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, a 6.7. What does that mean? Well, a 6.7 would translate to a pretty good skill rating because overall, I think this was a pretty good live performance. It would also get 3 out of 5 stars and a B letter grade. So there you go, a 6.7, pretty good skill rating, 3 out of 5 stars, and a B letter grade. That's B as in boy. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. Pretty simple, actually. Let's go down the checklist. You'll see what I mean here. Stage presence, yeah, it didn't change. I said that on the first pause. They look like performers, they act like performers. So stage presence is absolutely there. Stage energy, check. Whenever they got the opportunity to create stage energy, they did. It was subtle sometimes, explosive other times, short and quick though, every single time. Because they had to get back on the microphones. So kind of becoming slaves to their microphones. Unfortunately, that's kind of a byproduct of the style of music that requires 2 vocalists. So yeah, that unfortunately is a byproduct of that. But whenever they did get the opportunity to move and create that energy, they did. So I'll give them all the credit in the world for that. Stage interaction and crowd interaction. I'm going to tie them both together here. When I did my first pause, I said no, there was none. Zilch, not a big fat goose egg. Which, if that had continued and we did not have any, would have resulted in this being at most the highest possible score they could have gotten at that point. Would have been, I think, around a low 4 to a high 3, somewhere in there. They would have been down in the negatives. Luckily, they had that one moment that it didn't last for long. It only lasted for about 12 seconds where they went back to back. So they interacted with each other and they interacted with the crowd. So they killed 2 birds with 1 stone in those 12 seconds. It wasn't a lot. We didn't have a ton of it. They did not go back and sharpen the saw. But you know what they did do? They did enough to get a checkbox in both of those squares. So yes, they did get the stage interaction and they did, most importantly, get the crowd interaction, thankfully. Showmanship. Again, they did what they could given the circumstances. The type of song that they're playing, it requires two vocalists, and they both kind of have to be on the mics at all times. When they were able to break away from the mic, they would do something. They would strike a pose. They would rock out and spaz out in the back. They would go back to back and interact with the crowd while doing the deep headbanging from the weight. They would do something to have that showmanship, okay? Plus, at the end, I went back and listened a few more times. Yeah, she did say exactly what I thought she said. I'm not going to repeat it, but if you guys feel like going back and repeating it and seeing for yourself what she said, you are more than welcome to. I thought that was funny. So yeah, showmanship absolutely gets the check. Production, the banner. That's about it. The light was absolutely not designed. It was probably being run by some guy who works at the venue for minimum wage and honestly does not give two craps about these women. So minimal effort was put into the light show, obviously. But that's okay. They still put up the banner. And like I've always said, production, it's bonus points. It doesn't really affect the score a whole lot. Unless you are a production-based band, then your production better be on point. Absolutely. I don't think these girls are production-based bands. So you got a couple little extra bonus points. On top of that, I do take how well they play the song into account. That was kind of iffy. I gave them a 0.1 boost for that. When they play the song exceptionally well in a situation like this, I'll usually bump it up about 0.2. It was a little dirty. Now look, I get it. The style of music they're playing, it's that punk / hornless ska style, but definitely punk influence. It's supposed to be a little dirty. It is. But looking at the song, still looking at it objectively, it was dirty. So singing out of tune, I heard some wrong notes. Yeah, I'm still going to give it the 0.1 boop, the 0.1 boop up. So yeah. 6.7. That feels good to me. I feel good about that score. Remember, this is just for the live performance. It has nothing to do with the songwriting, the arranging, anything like that. So 6.7. I feel good with that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have a 6.7, which is a pretty good skill rating, 3 out of 5 stars, and a B letter grade. That's B as in boy. Take your pick. I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I've spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.